This is the third prototype we'll be testing out. This is a Turgo wheel specially calculated for my water line, which is 3,179 feet with a diameter of 1.9 inches. This Turgo wheel has 32 spoons with a pitch diameter of 9.775. Our jet, which is also part of the kit that came with this one from H Hydro, is 9/32 of an inch and is mounted directly right to the 1.5 inch line, which connects to our close to 2-inch water line. I have also included the blue adjustable nozzle to compare it. Now the distance to the wheel is much further. I can't really get it any closer. Like this one, I actually ran it as close to the wheel as possible to try to get the most power out of it. The case itself has a 20-degree pitch. I will also be trying a second one with a pitch of close to 10 degrees. We're back again and we're going to test our 32 spoon Turgo this time. Calculated power is estimated to be around 300 watts now that we calculated. The water line down to 1.9 instead of the 2-inch that we had before. We were looking at about 350 before. By losing 1/10 of an inch, we lost almost 50 watts. So pipe diameter, extremely important. You should always at least go with a 3-inch water line if you have between 30 to 50 gallons per minute available at the creek. The calculations were made for a 12-volt system, which is what I'm shooting at because it's I guess is the most economical way to do it. And obviously we'll try the different voltages to see if it changes, if we lose power or we're able to gain by going to higher battery voltages. RPM meter. Okay. I promise I'll have a nice setup one of these days. Slowly, we're making progress. We're gonna set up a little nicer. Pressure is 0. And then when you get some water out of this one, I'll say, I thought the pressure was down. There we go. The electronics didn't get wet now. I think the jet is way too small for that because we're not dropping much in pressure. Our pressure is kind of high. I mean, it's 50, almost 60, and we're running 334 RPMs and a constant 108 watts. Now, that is the most we've gotten out of 12 volts. The sound, I mean, it's quiet, about 74. Which is quieter than the previous reading we had on the other one. I believe we had 82 dBs. All right, let's switch over to the adjustable load nozzle. Let's find out what we can get out of this $160 adjustable nozzle. Open it up. And open it up to the 50 about. We're about 59 psi, which is the same as the other one. And our power, and it's about the same, I would say, at the same pressure. 329 RPM. Now we'll increase it and see if we're able to get any more than that. The pressure still, especially about 48 psi. Just continue. 12 volts. And again, we'll jump to 24 and see if we're able to get any better. Pressure down to about 40. And on the past, I think around 35 was where it gave us the best. So let's bring it to 35, around, okay, 35, 36. And our power didn't gain much. Increased a little, another 5 watts. I'll play around with that and see what's the most we can get out of it. Yeah, around 37 psi seems to be the place where it gives us the best power. That's our power output at 37 psi. The adjustable nozzle is done pretty good. It's done the best with all the systems, obviously, because we can tweak it to any size we want. I'll have to recalculate that nozzle because it is definitely too small for this. So I'm going to put a big load on it. I'm going to put about a 1500 watt load on the batteries and see what it does. That's without the load. And I'm going to put the load on and see how it changes. I'm going to kick it back on. Turn it back off again. Between 9 and 10 watts difference. This is a 20-degree pitch to the Pelton. I'm going to try the other one, which is 10. According to textbook calculation, it should be around 6, which is really low. But I was informed that due to the low flow, that would actually be worse. But let's try the 10 and see what it does compare to this 20. This is a reverse thread, so we gotta tighten it up to take it off. That's our jet right there. I mean, it's good size, just over a 1/4 inch. But I mean, it's not big enough, and the flow there is wide open right to the end. Off it goes. So this is not where it's leaking from. Got a little bushing. Okay, adapter, and hopefully this fixed jet won't hit. And then another washer on top. Yeah, no problem, it clears. Magnet. Power. We get more at this angle or less power. We'll bring it out to 40 psi. It's noisier, it's running at about 98, so it's definitely a lot louder. And we'll try to tweak it a little bit. And that we can get at a 10 degrees with the adjustable nozzle. It's definitely about 20 watts less. Alright, so that's definitely a fail. 10 degrees. So we'll swap over to the fixed nozzle and see if it changes any, which I doubt it. It's going to be worse too on that one. Okay. About 96 dBs, which is definitely louder than before. And our power is down to 2. Real bad power there lost. Yes, definitely a lot worse. So we got to switch over to the other housing so we can try it at different voltages. I have reassembled the 20-degree angle housing, and we're going to try it again at 12 volts first, and then we'll go to 24 and 36. I'm not sure if I'm going to go to 48. Sounds like most of the air worked its way out of the line now. It's pretty quiet. And we got about 109. At 12 volts. And we'll go to a 24 volt configuration. So even though I had it calculated for that, it does better at 24 volts. .24 volt configuration with the 32 spoon Turgo. Our pressure obviously is the same. It's about 59, almost 60. So 185 watts. It's nice and quiet. All I do is put a cover over this, and this thing, you would barely be able to hear it. So we'll jump it now to 36 and see if it does any better. So smooth. I love it. And there it is at 36 volts, 210 watts, 819 RPM. Obviously our pressure is the same at 59. And that's history right here. We broke the 200 mark. There's no charge control or anything. Very nice and smooth. And hold it nicely at 210 watts. Now we're getting to some decent power. We broke the 200 watt mark, which is pretty good. So this is our 48 volt configuration. Let's see if we get more than 210, which is our record. There it goes. How come it was showing 0 though? That wasn't 0 before. Alright, well I don't know. I guess it's okay. And we're not doing any better. We're doing worse actually. That's a good sign. my final system, I would like it to be 24 volt. 48 volt we lost. We're 192, so we lost power right there. 48 volt configuration and we lost power. We're down almost 20 watts, about 16 watts less than 36 volts. Alright, so 36 volts was the max. Alright, 36 volts was 210 was the record. And that's with this one. Now let's see what we can do with this nozzle, the adjustable nozzle, which gave us more power than this one here. So I'm going to swap it over and we'll start at the 48 volts and work our way down to 12. Turned it around, power's back on. Close this one here and open up our main valve. And before it just, even though this was spinning, it wasn't spinning fast enough to generate enough voltage, since the voltage was above 50 volts there to show any current. I was a little confused there because it was spinning but not fast enough, obviously. That's why, because of the higher voltage. So I just adjusted it to 59, about the same as this fixed jet, and it's about the same as far as the power output. About 59 psi, and the power is about the same. So as far as my pressure gauge, that's an indication of how much power is being drawn from the water line. The more the pressure drops, the more power is drawing out of it. So it's about the same power draw that we had with this fixed nozzle. And our power output is practically the same. Now this one's really far from the turbo wheel and this one's right over it. So I guess it doesn't make a huge difference how close it is, if it's really close or if it's just a little ways. Power, adjustable nozzle, at about 59 psi. Now the best psi that seems to always show us the most power is around 37 psi. So I'm going to open it up some more and see how high we can get at 48 volts. Down to about 45. Way to about 40 psi. Okay, I'm going to adjust it a little bit and then go back to it. We're at 37 and it's actually worse. It didn't get any better. Let's see if we can cut the pressure back. Yeah, this is definitely doing better at higher psi. When we cut back on the flow. We're setting another record. It's about 230 watts with the 48 volt configuration. This is different. Our best power is being obtained at 52 psi, which is different than all the other sets that I've done before. RPMs are nice and high, and it's 232 watts. I mean, we're only 70 watts off and no charge controller or anything, just straight to the batteries. That's pretty good. Now let's see if it gets any better, like this one, which actually got worse at 48 volts over 36. Let's see if it does better at 36. 36 volts, adjustable nozzle. 265 watts. So we're reaching our maximum power, which is 302 theoretical, And at this pressure here, this is different. Like I said before, I thought it was always 35 when you're extracting that much power out of it. But right there, we're actually at 49, 50 psi. Doing pretty good. 265. That's pretty good. We're getting to our target power. Again, no regulator, no nothing, which is something that we will be adding just to find out if we're able, if it's more efficient and we can play at different voltages without having to change the size of our runner. Let's say 265. I'm sure it's going to drop once we bring it to, we're at 36. We'll try 24 and see what it does at 24, which is what my final setup, I would like it to be 24. I was thinking of 12 because you can find 12 volt freezers and refrigerators easier than you can the other voltages, and they're much more economical. That's why I was trying to stick with the 12 volt setups. But we'll keep playing around until we find out which is the better. Now this one again was calculated supposedly for 12 volts. The whole system has been calculated for 12 volts. This generator here, I purchased a 12 volt version, and this is supposed to put 1,000 watts at 12 volts. Oh Jesus! Oh, that's no good. I guess maybe I should have been leaning on that pipe. 2-inch water line, dump it in the floor here. We've flood this in a minute. Good thing I got a couple of drains down here. Yeah, I guess hose clamps are not too reliable. Man, I must have been really leaning on that. Of course, you did have 70 pounds of pressure against that. That's the water pressure. It flows pretty good at a full 1.5 inches. Oh no, it's 1.5 inch line, yeah. Okay. Let me snug this one up too, make sure that we don't lose this one too. Oh yeah. I don't know why they come loose. I guess. Yeah. Alright, let's alright, so I'm gonna switch it over to 24 and see if we're able to get close to 250. It would be nice to get around 250. 265 is better, but 36 volt systems, I don't know if there are many 36 volt devices out there. 24 volts. Open it up a lot so it gets all that air out of there, and let's cut it back down again. Well, that's not bad. We lost about 12 to 14 watts. Still 252 is a respectable power for this water line size. And our pressure 47 psi, 24 volt setup. 254 watts. Now the idea here is that to get the most efficiency without electronics. Once I do that, I will be adding the electronics to see if we can obtain, let's say, the same 265 watts at 12 volts using the MPPT. That's the idea. And that might be the next video I make. I'll probably get that Midnight Classic 250 and start playing with all the systems that we've done so far and see how it can actually achieve it. And see if actually with a really bad, like before with our smaller Pelton and Turgo, if the Midnight Classic could pull that power out of it. Now it's very possible. I see it that it's possible now with this setup. What the heck was that? I have no kids around here, so I look a kid. um, okay. Well, who knows? Some bird out there or something trying to call in for me. I think we done pretty good on this one. We almost reached the 300. That is the max we can get at a really good 90% efficiency. And again, here we don't have any charge controller or anything. 12 volts. Okay, it looks like 157 is the best we can get at 12 volts with this setup. And that's our pressure at the pressure where we can get the best output, which is around 43. At least on this run. Is jumping between 156 and 158. So we'll call it, let's say 157. We're getting a 100-watt drop just from going from 24 to 12. That's huge. That's a big drop. All right, we made some progress on this system, getting close to our target. The other thing I could try is running 2 lines, but that's a big job. I don't know if I want to do that at this moment. I will do it in the future. I'm still waiting for a new bulkhead, so we'll see. Well, we'll see if I try it out or not. We'll do it in the future. All I know is we're getting real close. And that Midnight Classic would be nice to start playing around with that one too and see if it makes a big difference. Because if it doesn't, I mean, it's why you spend the money on something like that. I will be spending the money, but there's no need for somebody else to spend the money if they don't have to. If you sacrifice a few watts for, I mean, that unit is close to $1,000. It's close to $1,000 for that unit for the Midnight Classic 250. Now with that, we'd have some usable power. I'll be able to charge my batteries a little better. My solar system is kind of small. It's only 200 watts. And I only get about 4 hours worth of sunlight with that. And direct sunlight, that is. So I'm not truly getting 200 watts only for a fraction of the day. And this thing would be able to give me over 200 watts continuously, night and day, rain or shine. So, gotta love hydro. Till next time. Well, isn't that a pretty box? Looks like I have my work cut out for me. And I'd like to see that it is actually labeled as hydro.